Jalra Madhavan Kunjavihari Jalra Ramada Kunjavihari Upijana Vallabha Girivardhari Upijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasudanandana Dajagadandana Yasudanandana Dajagadandana Yamunatira Vanasari Yamunatira Vanasari Damada Kunjavihari Jagaram Damada Kunjavihari Gopijana Pala Girivardhari Gopijana Pala Girivardhari Jai Singadev, Jai Singadev, Singadev, Jai Singadev, Singadev, Jai Palat Maharaj, Maharaj, Palat Maharaj, Jai Palat Maharaj. Jai Pansatavam, Jai Pansatavam, Pansatavam, Jai Pansatavam, Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Bhagavan Shingadev Ki Jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Tattva Ki Jai, Shri Gonitai Ki Jai, Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai, Govindanande, Swagatam, Swagata. Okay, so Sava Shastrabdi Viyusha Sava Vekasathanam Siddham Taratnavya Sava Loke Kandri Padam.
From the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world.
Sava Bhagavad Ram Shrimad Bhagavad Prabhu Kalimanto Dita Ditya Shri Krishna Parivayantita.
O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of the Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned amongst us.
Paramanam Pataya Premlakshya Sharayate Savada Savaseyaya Shri Krishnaya Gospuren.
O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you by rendering you one of things transcendent to bliss, for your silvers reign through the law of God upon the meter. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna.
Madek Bando Matsangi Madguru Madmahadan Mamishkalaka Madmagaya Madananda Stute.
O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great one, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Sadhu Savitadani Nati Chochatarakam Namo Shakadachin Mam Premari Kantayo Spuram.
O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter to the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifest upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Yanti Niranda Syaganam Jana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tashnai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swatam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sanjiva Tadvaitam Savatam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Vadam Sagana Lalita Shri Vichakam Vinam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Rupesh Vikrakanta Radhakant Namostute Tata Vanshali Gurali Radhe Vrindavan Hari Vishravan Sute Devi Pranami Hariye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna. So let's recap a little bit yesterday. Chapter, which chapter?
17.
Okay, so we entered quite a bit, and we went up to verse 16, I believe, or 15. So let's together try to put things into perspective. Ideally, at the end of the video, that's the goal, we should have a kind of overview of the video, at least of the background, at least the articulations, how the chapters, how many chapters the flow can go, and also the flow, the thread. There's a thread. It's not easy at first sight because it's not chronological. So, it takes a few, I think, a few journey to get it right. I have to admit. But once you have, it's a great boon once you have more or less the, the outlook of the Bhagavad. There's some difficulty for you?
Yeah, it's not showing, but no. Yeah.
Okay, so what did we discuss yesterday? Briefly. Yes, Sanjay Prabhu.
We were starting with chapter 16 or something.
17, because
So, yeah. I mean, in chapter 16, it had been described that the Dharma in the form of a bull and Mother Earth in the form of a cow, they were standing and conversing, and Mother Earth, she was lamenting her condition, and then Maharaj Parikshit came to that place and he saw Kali is beating them.
yeah, very good. That's a good introduction. Anything else? Yes, Prabhuji.
We were looking at this point. Actually, Maharaj Parikshit, he knew who was attacking the cow and the bull.
Yeah.
But despite this, he still was asking who did it.
Yeah. Why? We discussed a little bit, and I mean, why is he doing that? It's quite mind-boggling. We discussed this today a little bit. I mean, there's different angles of vision. He wants to ascertain who is he wants to make sure that he got it right. So he's very thorough. He wants to absolutely double check everything. Already he's angry, but he wants to double check everything before he comes to his verdict. His verdict is clear: I'm going to kill you. But even though he uttered those words, he wants to thoroughly examine. His name is Parikshit. Parikshit means examiner. So he's very thorough in sagacious. I think we say in English, sagacious. Is extremely very thorough person. Manage. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu.
So interesting to see how wise like the bull and the cow spoke, how they speaking, because Maharaj and cow and bull was going on very fine. They don't want to do a mistake or like the bull.
So you're saying the bulls
Very
and
careful, but they don't the word mistake. The very final speech, like very elevated.
Yeah, so in other words, let me rephrase it. You're saying the bull and the cow didn't want to finger point at Kelly. That's what, yeah. Yeah, we can already definitely foresee the loftiness of their consciousness. And we're going to see today the climax, right? 117.22. It's very high. And someone beats you, and a bit like the Christ, you know. You get the cheek, you get a slap on the cheek, you show the other cheek. Very high. Okay, so let me put the recap here. This is my recap way back when I was studying. I mean, as I told you the other day, the first day, teaching is not different from studying. It's part of it. So Maharaj Parikshit, you can read out. You know, someone can read out.
Maharaj Parikshit has asserted his
Authority.
authority on Kali, who entered his kingdom. Kali's business is to bring down religion, to promote sinfulness, because even below Bhagavad Gita 1866, pure bhakti, sub-religious principles, religiosity has its purposes. It keeps
This is my notes. It keeps society from going mad. And this is the point. Because we become mad. Not so much us, but they become mad. So that's why even any types of, ideally it's 1866, yes, but ideally even some, Prabhupada used to say, if you follow your son, it doesn't say son, religious principles, but that's what it is basically. But at least he told him, you follow Christianity thoroughly. It's fine. That will keep down the Raja boom.
It keeps the rajas, the desires that Vidyapadas tend to have, channeled upward, following those, one will gradually become purified to sattva, and argument develop. If one submits the authority of the system to any authority practically speaking, Kali's business is to remove
the principle
of authority. Then you have a good reason to reject everything. He introduces
Apadama, we're going to discuss now in 16.
Apadama, which are hollow. People notice it and reject everything totally, including real dharma. So the path.
Water with the baby inside, huh? It's an expression.
Kali wants to prove that authority is bad and corrupt, so that no one should follow authority.
You follow? This is very true. Bhujan Prabhu was expert, I remember. This is the job of Kali. He wants to sap, he wants to, at the roots, cut the very principle of authority. So then, sometimes you may reject things properly. Of course, it's grounded, that should be rejected. But once you have rejected the principle of authority, don't listen to the parents, don't listen to the teachers, you know, then the door is open for any rejection of it, even good things. You follow? So that's the job of Kali. He's very, very expert in terms of strategy. He's expert. Sarcastically, historically analyze how all ancient Shastra were made by men for some purposes. For instance, the creation of the universe cannot take place according to, that's what they would say, that's their assumption. No, it cannot take place according to Shastra. It takes place according to the contemporary ideologies, my dear friend. The scientists, every 6 months or so they change. So Burijan Prabhu was telling in those days, I'm talking about 20, 25 years ago, there was one scientist, he got it right. He got it right. He understood the universe is eternal. It's an ongoing sequence of creations and annihilations. He came to that conclusion. Yes, Prabhu.
Can I record your class?
Yeah, sure. I'm recording it here also for my students. Yes, it's being recorded. So, he got it right. He was a small, not a big scientist, but there was this ideology. He got it right. But poor person, soon after there's another wave of new ideologies coming up, and he got covered over. You follow? But sometimes they got it right. This person did. And oftentimes they come up with the universe expands and collapses, a great singularity where everything enters into all matters, pulled into this densely, unlimitedly points, sucked right into the black hole. They have all kind of nonsense. So basically, that were my notes in those days, In the name of evolution, they're ready to discard authority, have to kill the cows. Even, I don't know if you remember in UK, 20 years ago, the mad cow disease, remember? They used to feed powdered cow meat to the cows. You follow? How much they're mad? I don't know if you remember in UK, perhaps 20, 25 years ago, they killed 1 million cows because they were feeding powdered cow meat to the cows. The cow obviously will get sick and die. And just to prevent the epidemic, they killed 1 million cows in UK. Just imagine the enormous collective karma. These are my notes, dye your hair or anything, So the degradation is horrible. It's snowballing. It's like compounded effect, compounded interest, compounded effect. Like, for instance, the war. Before, never, even though your dad would know that, you don't kill a civilian. You fight Kurukshetra is in the plains, it's out there, it's not near the villages. Now they kill anyone. They kill children. They're going to kidnap one children and blackmail the other party. Do this, otherwise I kill the child. I mean, this, the sky's the limit now. 3 principles we discussed also. Yesterday we discussed on that point, that the main issue is their point lower grade Shudras in the post of leaders. Isn't that the main, I would say, the main issue? And they gang up with the Vaishyas. Vaishyas, Krishi Goraksha, are supposed to protect the cows. And the Vaishyas, on the contrary, in the name of making money, they will sell. Whichever cows do not produce milk anymore, set it off. So it's a gang. It's a gang. We are led by gangsters. In the 12th canto, there's one term, bandit. Is this the same term for bandit or for leaders? Same term, bandit. Don't be afraid. Prabhupada is not afraid. We have to call a spade a spade. Anyway, so we are just, yesterday I should have covered 16, I made a mistake. I should have stopped at today 17, but 16 is very important. Let's get into 16. Ragyo hi paramo dharma svadharmastanu palanam shasato nyanyata shastram anapajit pataniha. Go ahead.
Supreme. 16.
16.
Supreme duty of the ruling king is to give protection to low minded persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinances of the scriptures in ordinary times when there is no an emergency.
By the way, it's one of your questions. Huh? So it's a very important verse. We are dealing with apadharma. What's the meaning of that? I gave some cross references, Gita. And of course, yesterday we discussed at length. Huh? I could add up this. 7, 7, 5, 7, 15. Remember? 7, 15, 12. Up to 16, basically. So please explain who is speaking here. 16. Who is speaking? This is Sutta Goswami. Is the narrator. So what is he telling us? And Srila Prabhupada bounces off on that in the purport. When there is no emergency, this is the point. And the purport, apadharma means apadharma, yes, Prabhu?
Such your occupation duty at times of extraordinary happiness.
Yeah. In 247, if you look it up, Prabhupada says, routine work, like now, this temple is routine work, there is no emergency. And there is emergency work. Like for instance, again, 1986 to 92, we had to save New Mayapur. You think we were just cozy staying in the temple? We had to make 2,000 francs a day. I remember the authorities, don't even come back. They will tell us, you make 2 grams a day, otherwise you don't come. That was the pressure. It was emergency. You think we were selling books, but mostly we were selling paintings, mandalas, tankas, all other friends. And I was always saying as a joke, are we missionaries or are we mercenaries? Because the focus was very clear. The focus was money, 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 money. But it was Lakshmi, be careful. For the sake of saving the money. We didn't keep 1 cent, even though we were Grihastha. Not only me, at least 100 devotees, even outside of France. It was emergency. You know, like a deadline, ticking away. Because we had borrowed money, we had to pay it back, big amount with interest. And we finished before even the deadline. So it was intense. But Mayapur is back within the fold of ISKCON since 92. It was lost. Just imagine someone is telling you this project is finished. It's going to be taken away by the government. How would you feel? You're going to fight. You're going to do anything. So it's like a baby, it belongs to Krishna. So sometimes apadharma, emergency duty. So let's discuss about that. Yesterday we went into that section, remember? 7, 15, 12. Remember yesterday? So let's cover, yesterday I didn't do justice but today it's important to go into that. So Narada is speaking to Yudhishthira. 5 branches of Vidharma or Adharma, same. So one is Paradharma, not to be confused with 1 to 6, be careful. So what is Paradharma here? Religious principles introduced by others. If something which is man-made is Paradharma. Again, we have to see according to the context of Vidharma. If you take the term Paradharma in the realm of Bhakti, it is Supreme Bhakti. It is Bhagavad Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, Jaiva Dharma. But within the context of Vidharma, it has a different connotation. Upadharma, a new type of religion created by one who is falsely proud, opposing also the principles of the Vedas. So you can see it's very precise. Any words jugglery is chaladam. So anything below 1866 basically is Vidana. Let's put it this way. Savadamam Parichacha. Anything below that, Prabhupada is quite blunt. Anything below that is Vidana. And then he quotes Dhammam to Sakshat Bhagavat Panitam, which is what is religion? The words emanating from the mouth of Krishna. Anything else, it's already diluted. Yes, Prabhu.
So that even the Kamakan and Gyanakanda part of the Vedas could also be called then Vidama.
Yeah, because Gyanakan, Kanakan, these are not even, it's not concerning the Vaishnava world, you know. They concern other applicants, other participants. Yes, they stick to the Vedas, but they are just within the path of Nivritti Marg. See, we have to divide Vedas often, there are different ways to divide the Vedas, but Nivritti Marg. Nivritti Marg means they're trying to satisfy their desires in a Vedic way. Whereas we are Pravritti Marg. So Pravritti Marg means we tread the path of going back to God. And for that matter, we Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Chikratameka, Purusha Purana. We embrace Gyan and Vairagya. But not separate from Bhakti. If you embrace Gyan and Vairagya separately from Bhakti, you become a Gyani again. So this is the verse, Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shikshatameka, Purusha Purana. Whatever is practical, whatever is unfavorable to Bhakti, we reject. Whatever is favorable to Bhakti, we accept. Money, $5 million, please, we accept. Prabhupada said, thank you, sir, and he's pulling the left hand. So that's quite a peculiar definition of Yukta Vairagya. Yuktam Vairagya Muchyate, that's our philosophy. Whereas the regular types of Vairagya that we know, Falgu Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya means Falgu, superficial, artificial. That's usually the type of Vairagya that we hear about, of the Gyanis, of the renunciates. This is mine. This is mine. Let me reject it. What is the downside with that? There's a downside. If you reject the material world because apparently it is Maya, in other words, you are Binadrik, you are separatist. You separate the energy from God, from Shaktiman. What is the downside of that? There's a downside. If you're not totally pure, like 317, 318, you are Atmarama, Atma Tripti, you're totally self-contented. If you're not on that level, how do you want to purify yourself? You follow? You have rejected Maya. You're not advocating Krishna in your life. How do you want to get purified? You have material desires, but you have taken the path of renouncing the material world. How do you want to get purified? And 3.5, 3.6, Gita, you become a Nityacha. Nityacha means pretender. You are apparently wearing saffron, it's not your case, or even sannyasi. But deep inside, you still meditate on the object of the senses. Whereas a devotee, what he does, he doesn't reject Maya. He engages Maya. Maya means what? Maya means for those who separate things from Krishna, but Maya doesn't exist. Tokyo 72, Prabhupada says, we cannot be in Maya. He says we cannot be in Maya because we are part of Krishna. We are within Krishna. You follow? Maya tatamidam savam jagadaviktamutina. We are within Krishna. How can we be separated from Maya, from Krishna? So in Tokyo 72, he says, we cannot be in technique. Then he goes further, he says, we need the help of Krishna to be in Maya. Can you be in Maya on your own? No, because you are part and parcel of Krishna. You follow? Just like if an amoeba within your stomach tells another amoeba, oh, we have nothing to do with that guy. Is this amoeba feeds itself from within your stomach. It's a false claim. So Maya means, beautiful verse is 11:237. What is it? Oh man, forgetting my Sanskrit. In the Sanskrit, you have always to remember the first word. Bayam Ditya Binivishita Syat Ishadapitasya Vipayaya Smritihi. This is the verse. 11:237. As soon as you Bayam Ditya Binivishita Syat, as soon as you absorb yourself in something which is apparently different from God, Dvitiya means duality, Dvitiya, two, two. As soon as you absorb yourself in something which is apparently different from Krishna, what's going to be the result?
Fear.
Yes, but before fear, according to that verse, Abhinivishita is going to reverse your constitutional position. We are Krishna Das. Jivera Swarupa Krishna Lichadas. But because we absorb ourselves in something which is apparently different from Krishna, it's going to reverse our position. We are no more Krishnas. We are God, or even worse, we are competitor. We are here, Krishnadas. Here it would be, I'm God, and here would be, I'm competitor. That's even worse. So that verse explains very well. And then Bhayam, fear, what am I going to eat? What's going to happen to me, my wife, my kids, the world? Because of this absorption, then it reverses our constitutional position. Also, all these 7, 5, 12 through 16, different sub-religion. I mean, it's not sub-religion today. It's Vidam, irreligion. I'm not going to spend the whole day on this, but see, pretentious religious system manufactured by one willfully neglects the prescribed duties of the order of life is Abbas. Let's say you neglect Vanashram. This is Vedanta. You may neglect Vanashram if you're on the level of Madhavendra Puri Goswami. The verse is there in the 11th canto. Once you are fully satiated with Krishna Katha and holy name, you are totally engrossed into that. Then you can definitely reject the prescribed duty. But Madhavendra Puri Goswami would not even, he stopped chanting his Gayatri. He would consider this is smarta. That's very, very hard. He used to say, since I meditate on that boy rolling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, I'm fully satisfied. I don't need anything else. He stopped chanting Gayatri. Can we imitate? Param Guru of Mahaprabhu. So, we should not prematurely do things. Anyway, so this is, so back to 16, Prabhupada is quite strict, it's quite firm. And now, Prabhupada explained in 16 that it is the duty of the king to punish, let's say, Vishvamitra. Guru drone. They changed their Dharma, isn't it? They changed. They were Brahmins and they became Kshatriya, or vice versa. That's my idea. The state executive head is to see that such Swadharma is not changed by the follower. If you may do it if it is apadharma, if it is there's an emergency, that's fine. But if there is no emergency, that's not good. Then you become vidharmic. You become adharmic. Prabhupada gives the example. Even he told Harikesh Prabhu, and you know the story. Harikesh Prabhu was serving Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan, and he was so sold out to Srila Prabhupada day and night serving. So Prabhupada told him, do something, go out and preach. And he was, no, I love you, I want to serve you. And again, go out and preach. And then he told him, you go to Russia. You know the story, no? Way before Russia, it was time of USSR. He went, 2-3 weeks later, he came back to Vrindavan. And then he said, Prabhupada is meet each other, we cannot preach. What did Prabhupada say?
And eat meat.
Eat meat. You go back and eat meat. That's a padam. You follow? But Guru Drone, he changed his varna, but he was very fruity. Remember, he wanted to get back at Virat or Drupal, one of the two. He was revengeful. That's why he changed his varna. That's not proper. If there is, we did it because there was a time of crisis. We had to save New Manipur. We just chanted around, living in hotels, living in rented houses, and moving like anything. Selling paintings up to midnight in the restaurants. So our spiritual life was totally still chanting, barely chanting. What was the focus? Focus was saving Manipur. That was definitely the part. And our GBC would come, are you doing okay? We brought you some prasad. You know, the Guru would come. Bhakti Saru Maharaj, Sripad Maharaj would come and help us, to encourage us. Don't give up. We are behind you. Krishna is behind you. Millions was in debt we had to collect, fill the gap. He was definitely Upanna. But, you know, and some devotees even left this guy. I remember. They could not bear sweaters. 2 grams a day. Who can bear? And it's Krishna's grace, it's Krishna Shakti Vinanayata Pravatan. It happened. It's amazing. And this temple, you have seen it was open. I'm reading the book now, how it started. So ISKCON is like this, it's an adventure. We should not forget the first devotees way back in the 60s, 70s, how they worked hard. Sometimes at the cost of their minds. Okay. Sada santushta manasa sarva shiva maya dishaha shakara kanta yatido byo yato panad padashivam.
Oh, but this is seventh candle. Seventh candle.
I got carried away. Sorry. Anyway, you have it under your eyes. Read 17. It's a new section, actually.
Karma vacha etam karmanda viryana yuktam arha tayam vacha yesham gunavanai Krishna dalgrama bhagavanam. The personality of religion said, these words just spoken by you befit the person of the Pandava dynasty, captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas, even though Krishna, the personality of God, had performed duties as a messenger.
Let's do 18 because 18, you had a question from the manual. Navayam klesha bijani yatasyu purusha shaba purushantam vijani mo vakya bed vimohitaha.
O greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers.
Yeah, so we're entering a new section. If you look at the chart, 17 is a tiny section, 17 to 23. Basically, Dharma is going to answer now. It's quite interesting. You will see the loftiness. He's going to answer Parikshit's inquiries about the cause of his difficulty. And he's going to draw his conclusion. You will see. He will totally be awestruck by the answer of the bull. So it's very interesting. 17, huh? We could say all along we've been hearing Maharaj Parikshit sound a bit arrogant. I can, even a demigod I can kill him. Even if he comes with the armor. Just don't fool around with me. I'm in charge. I've got the law. I'm a duly descendant of the Pandavas. Sounds a bit proud. Have you seen the purport of Prabhupada 17? Is it proud? Is it pride? What is it then? What is it? Sorry, Prabhu? Yeah, and can you imagine he's a pure devotee of the Lord. Maharaj Parikshit is a Nitya Siddha. He was never in Maya. He's been with the Lord since time immemorial. So he has total, it's called Ashabandha. He has total, not Ashabandha, sorry. He has total, it's called Atmanivedana. He has total dependence on the Lord. What is the verse? Sadavodidayam mayam sadunam lidayam twaham. Ninth canto. 9, forgetting somewhere. Story with Duvas Muni and Ambarish. When Duvas Muni goes to Vaikuntha, the chakra is behind. This is what Narayan says. Sadavo lidayam mayam sadunam lidayam twaham. Because he's my dear Lord, please protect me. And he goes, Ambakta Paradino, Yazvantantwa Dvija. He says, I'm not independent. Remember? I'm not independent. Even though in the Gita, in the Bhagavatam 111, he says, Abhigya Svarat, I'm totally independent. When you look at 9, this is the verse 9,468. He said, no, my dear Dovasami, I'm not independent. I'm dependent on my pure devotee. I cannot do anything for you. Go back to Maharaj Ambarish and atone and surrender. I'm dependent. Sadavo lidayam twaham, sadunam lidayam twaham. Only in my heart, there's only my pure devotee. In their heart, there's only me. That's the final Siddhanta of the Gaudiya relation. The rest is secondary. The rest is delegated to Vishnu and others. So, in other words, Maharaj Parikshit, and you can see Dharmaraj, he immediately, he totally acknowledged that. Yes, we want you to protect us. It's like, remember in Ramayana, Vishwamitra went to see Dasharat. We have so many asuras, rakshasas, sullying the arena of sacrifice, passing stool, passing you in. Please, we need your boys. At least Ram is 16. Do you think Vishwamitra could not kill the asuras? Do you know the power of Vishwamitra? He can create a partial universe. You see, you cannot take care of a few rakshasas, passing stool and urine on the sacrifice arena. But that's not his duty. He's a Brahmin. He's a Saptarishi. So he beseech the help of the Kshatriya, Dashana. And he's please, I need your son. Remember that section in Ramayana? And Dasharat is quite, please, I can't go myself. Vashish tells him, no, he's right. Give your boy. So that's that's the Vedic culture. You don't interfere. It's not within your jurisdiction. You need, and here, that's what he's saying. Yes, I'm a Dharma. I'm basically a Brahmin. It's your job, and you're right. I appreciate your words. 18, the question is there for you. What is the question under study? 18. Describe the devotee's attitude towards suffering. Yes, because very interesting. Anyway, I want to hear from you. Yes, Prabhu.
Devotees thinking that the suffering is from his past sins, and the present suffering is only a small reaction of his past sins.
What is the verse? Lord Brahma's verse? You are saying verse here. 10, 14, 8. Tatenu kampam susamik shamano, bhugyanarivatma kritam vipakam, ridvagvapobir vidadan namaste, jivita yog muktipade sa dayam. This is Brahma. This is beautiful because Brahma had made a fool of himself, he stole the cows and the gopas, and then he realized that again they all manifested, they have Vishnu Tattva. So he put his foot in his mouth, and he meant the whole 14 chapters of the 10th canto is apologetic. He comes to apologize to baby Gopal. I mean, not baby, but he's a young boy. Gopal doesn't even utter a word. Did you notice? Brahma is apologizing. Krishna doesn't even utter one word. And Brahma has to leave because he feels uneasy. Because this is Vrindavan. It doesn't fit there. So what does the verse say? Tatenu kampam susamik shamano. We should tolerate the result of our past misdeed. And is it karma? This is a very interesting topic. Is it karma or not? Yes.
In the beginning, the devotion life, yes, after not, after Krishna's correction.
Everyone agrees with that? He's saying beginning, yes, it's karma, after it's not karma. Have you read the purport of 10.14.8? It's not Prabhupada anymore, it's the devotees, Vigram Maharaj, Dravid Prabhu, and Gopi Prabhu. Gopi Prabhu left the world already. Those three carried on Bhagavatam. No, it's not karma. It's a semblance of karma, but actually it is the sweet hand of the Lord pushing in your Hridaya Durbalya, your weaknesses of heart. We have weaknesses of heart, only we know in Krishna. And Krishna is pushing there softly but firmly so you can address them. To the outside world, it seems like karma. Oh, he's going through his karma, that devotee. No, it's not karma. It is a sweet hand of Krishna intervening in your life to make sure that you become clean before you die so you can go back. Yes, Prabhu.
Why we say that? Why is this say? I don't know if it's not written, but you read all the time. It's like maybe it's something from that. It's like in the beginning when we enter Krishna consciousness, like we have our mass karma.
Yeah, when you got initiated, that's a different story. But
It's like with the,
when you got initiated, one of the functions of the Diksha Guru is to remove your karma, isn't it? Before initiation, yes, you cannot unplug the fan, so it's still rolling. But at the time of initiation, technically speaking, you've been accepted by Krishna, Parampara, the fire, you're part of the family. Yes, Guru.
and before is yes the karma, or what is the answer?
Up to the time of initiation, yes, you are still, how do you say, you are still dependent on your karma. From initiation, it's over. Unless foolishly, a few years down the road, you plug it back in. That's foolish. Then again, the fun. Yes, Guru.
Is it as far as I understood, it's like that the indifference is not devotee just experiences his karma fully, but the devotee he also experiences his karma, but Krishna takes care of his karma, like he takes the karma of the devotee and he gives according to him his will. Like so we experience our karma, but given by Krishna.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a semblance of karma. And that verse 10:14.8 it's a token reaction. I remember when I joined 85 or so, I was, in those days, we had across New Mayapur, there's another property. It used to belong to Iskana. I was with Kalyapani Prabhu, who was my leader, Prabhupada disciple. And it's a big amphitheater and huge, and I was sleeping. And I didn't see it was dark. There was a hole just that big. And only one leg fell into the hole. And I was like, up to here. And I hurt myself badly. But I was okay. And then he looked at me, very senior dignitaries. He said, you should have broken me. And I was struck because, yes, it could have been. But I got away. And he told me that verse that struck me. I was afraid of it. You should have been much worse. But because you just joined and you're starting the process, it's a token reaction. Then that struck me. So today, this is what happened. You follow? Okay, so let's see Vishwanath here, if we have some. So you can see even Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur echoes the same point. Krishna was attracted to all their qualities, which were filled with prem. Parikshit is filled with prem. It's prem bhakti. And the verse, Sadavoridayam Mayam, is controlled by prem. So this Dharma understands this. I'm dealing with a prema bhakti in the form of a king. Whatever he says is fine with me. You follow? So 18. So again, Vishwanath always does that. He paraphrases. I don't know the person from whom the seeds of suffering will arise. Why do you conceal the person? I even see the person who's giving you suffering. Remember, Kali is standing in one corner. Kali is not gone. Kali is hearing the whole discussion. He's going to be taken care of very soon. And he dares not leaving the place. Immediately, he will be killed. I even see the person who is giving you suffering. This is the king speaking. True. Now Dharma answers. True, is giving me suffering, but there should be a seed. That should be the seed of my suffering. See, 18. The Dharma doesn't answer right away. He's giving other schools opinions. You follow? Just like Krishna, where does he do that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna? Arjuna is asking a question to Krishna, and Krishna doesn't give his opinions right away. He gives other philosophical schools opinions. Where does he do that? Beginning of the 18th chapter. Remember? 18th chapter is a recap of the whole Gita. See? The question is clear of Arjuna 18:1. I wish to understand Tyag and Sannyas. Bas. And then Krishna speaks 18:2. Basically, he says Sannyas and Tyag are the same. Bas. And then 18:3. Some learned man, that's not him, declares that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. That's basically the Gyanis, the Sankhyaists. Sankhya Yoga. Then yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, penance should never be abandoned. That's basically the karma mimamsa, the karma bhav. They say that karma is beyond Krishna. So Krishna answers, but that's not his opinion. So in the same way, in 18, that's not Dharma's opinion. What does it say? We are bewildered by different opinions. You follow? Of theoretical philosophers. And in the purport, Prabhupada, what does he do? Did you notice? He goes into the Saddarshan. And you know the Saddarshan? Sat, six darshan. And there's six, not fully Krishna conscious philosophy. Only one is okay, but the others are very famous in India, the Saddarshan. And they're quoted here by Srila Prabhupada. The only one which is valid and interesting to us is amongst the six, Achintya Bheda. That's totally in agreement with us. We take that one. So see, there's different possibility and different schools of philosophy. And some say destiny, some say the action is supreme, some say the demigods are supreme, the locus, the planets are supreme. It's bewildering. That is why Saddarshan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, when I see them coming, I turn my back and go the other way. It doesn't mingle with them. No need to study. I mean, little bit, but it's not in line with Gaudiya. Except, of course, listen. So this is the point of Vishwanath here. So they are kind of, it's a bit, they're playing joke with one another here, basically. You know the scriptures, my dear Bo, don't you know? But they say, yes, I know, but it's like Arjun, I'm bewildered. 2:7. Shishasteham. What is the verse? Dharma. Tvam samu. I'm bewildered by Dharma. Krishna said. Arjun says in 2:7, I think. How does it go? Excellent. Thank you. And then he goes, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanam. Yes, I'm bewildered by religion. It's difficult. Which is true. So he's putting that argument forward, the bull. 19. Ketchit vikalpa vasana aruratmanam atmanaha devamanye parikama svabhavam apariprabhum. Now he's going to enumerate. I will show you. You can start describing. You can read the English and then we will discuss.
Some of the philosophers who deny all sorts of duality declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible, while yet others say that activity is responsible, and the gross materialists maintain that nature is the ultimate cause.
Okay, so let's try to brush it up quickly. I made a mind map of that. It's beautiful. I don't know if you know this software. Mind map, it's first class. I've been using that for 30, 40 years. It's very good I'll show you one. I made one on this verse. This is 117:19, right? Maybe somewhere in that list. Yeah, exactly. I'll show you what it is. It's very handy. A mind map. Hare Krishna. See? It pops out as a mind map. You can do that when you teach, when you study. You know, it's a great software. Okay? So let's go over. Again, those Saddarsan. Let's start with this one, Jaimini. What does it say? I pulled out from 19, and of course, I'm drawing also 20 from even other parts of the Shastra, 18.3, Gita. Jaimini. I don't know if you know Saddarsan, I don't want to. I don't know how far you know. Fruitive activity is the root cause of all distress and happiness. Even if superior authority, that is karmavad, mimansh. Action is not independent. So they tend to say, this is the philosophy advocated by Krishna to his father, Nanda Maharaj. Remember when he prevented the Indra Puja? This is the philosophy. What did he say to his father?
What can Indra do? We act just to survive.
Yeah, he said, my dear father, the rain falls indiscriminately everywhere. What is the point? We should be more zoomed in on Govardhan. So fruitive activity is the root cause of all distress, happiness. And of course, here, I took the stand of Srila Prabhupada, he demolished all these schools. Action cannot be independent, my dear sir, my dear friend, because it's performed by some karta. Remember, 1812? There's 5 factors of action. One is the karta, the doer. Follow? So you cannot say, oh, action is supreme. No, who has done the action? The karta has done the action. So the karta is accountable. So this philosophy doesn't tally, doesn't stand properly. The cause of suffering and happiness is not karma because it's insentient. Moreover, the man of dharma, following the path of Mimamsakas, that's their path, Kamabad, as prarabdha and aprarabdha karma. If so, then their idea that following that path of karma destroys suffering is negated. So it's an incomplete path. It's not absolute. Now, the Neshtik Kapil. You know Kapil Dev and son of Ayod. But there's a Neshtik. And unfortunately, the Neshtik Kapil is part of the Saddarshan. It's going to say, Prakriti is Savakarana, the ultimate cause. It's a combination of material elements that can cause sukh and dukh. And if you disintegrate matter, then you're free. That's the philosophy of the Neshtik Kapil. No, my dear friend. What is the problem with that philosophy? Yes, Prabhu?
Living as it does not come. Matter, life comes from life.
Exactly. Are we coming from matter? First question. No, my dear friend, we're coming from life. Matter is always there. It's animated by the soul. Full stop. Next, Gotham, Canada. What do? They push atomic combination, which is very close to that one. So they say, no, atomic combination is Savakaram. It is the cause of all causes. No, it is already addressed by Krishna in the 2nd chapter. Remember, at the end of Atmagyan, Krishna, he brushes over those different schools. 226 is Buddhavad, Bodhavad. 227 Kamavad, 228 Shunyavad. And amongst those 3, some claim even in those days, way before Buddha, they are called Lokayatikas, Vaibhashikas. Look it up in 226. They're saying we are just a conglomeration of matter, of chemical elements. So what should we worry about? If you, a piece of chemicals, you are killed, what's the big deal? So my dear Arjun, even if you claim to be a non-Vedic person, you should not worry. You should not cry. You just find. Even if you take the stand of a non-Aryan philosophy, like Kapil, like Gautama, Kanada, it doesn't fit the bill. You have to do your duty. See, Krishna dismantled these philosophies. They make a big scene out of it in India, but they don't fit the bill. They don't fit the bill. Ashtavakra, we discussed the other day. Sorry to say, he's an impersonalist. He's a great soul, yes. We should not laugh at him, but he's an impersonalist. It tends to say, Savam Kavidam Brahma, everything is Brahman. But Krishna says 1427. I'm the source of Brahman. So it doesn't hold a distance. Then, sorry, Lokayatas, we discussed in 226 Gita. There's Svabhav, and they say all the Svabhav. Svabhav means the inherent nature of the conditioned soul. We have a particular Svabhav within the realm of matter. That's called Svabhav. Our way to move about in matter. And we have a particular, we have 5 or 6 here. We have our own ways to move about in this world. That's on nature. People say, oh, that is his nature. He's like that. That's the Svabhav. So they're saying, look at us, they're saying, the Svabhav is the inherent property of matter. So the Svabhav is the Savakaram. Vishwanath dismantles that. No, because it is not an exclusive cause. Your Svabhav is temporary to your conditioning, my dear friend. You follow? When you go back to Godhead, you don't take your Svabhav. You take your Bhakti. But your conditional nature that you've been dragging on for centuries in this material world, you don't take them. So it doesn't hold a distance. Then let's carry on. That's the final one. So let's start from the bottom. The Advaitin. Who are the Advaitin? Famous Shankara, Advaitavad. We know the story. They say, Keval Advaitavad. We are one with the Lord. Does it hold a distance? One said that the Atma is the source of happiness and suffering. Some may say the devatas, but it cannot be, because even the devatas are controlled by karma. Karma, we discussed before, cannot be the cause also, because it is not independent, it is depending on the karta. So they say, oh, only the Atma is the cause and nothing else. They come to that conclusion. That's basically the Advaitin. Vishwanath kicks in and say, no. Because, and he quotes 20 coming up, we can read 20. There are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation, nor know it by imagination, nor express it by words. O sage among kings, judge by yourself, judge for yourself by thinking of all this with your own intelligence. So the bull is still speaking out others' philosophy. So this is how Vishwanath dismantles this philosophy. Happiness and distress are not illusory. If you break your leg, can you say, oh, Prabhu, it doesn't exist? Are you going to be happy with me? You had a car accident. Were you hurt?
Yes.
Were you hurt?
Yes.
It doesn't exist, Prabhu. It doesn't exist. What's wrong with you? All these things are illusory. So it's illusory in the sense, yes, it's pertaining to the body, okay, but it's temporary. Nasato vidyate bhava, nabhava vidyate sataha, okay. But your suffering, is it illusory? When you had a car accident, were you suffering from the aftermath of the after the aftermath of the accident? Was it a real suffering or not? So suffering is actually experience. And the cause of that is not due to the Atma, because the Jiva is dependent. You follow? As long as you are under the purview of matter, unfortunately, you are dependent. You suffer really. So this is how Vishwanath dismantles beautifully Shankar and Jiva Goswami. See? Then again, others believe in the lokas, the planets controlled by devatas. The planets are the cause. Doesn't stand. Not possible. Because lokas depending on time. Even the planets have their own longevity span, isn't it? It doesn't tell you. So what is the final conclusion? Someone can read out the final Siddhanta?
The Lord, as the cause is absolute, Bhishma has said already that the plan of the Lord, however, is impossible for everyone to understand.
You remember? Bhishma said, he was crying. Like, it cannot be anything else but time. You are pure devotees. There's no karma. It's destiny. It is the hand of the Lord. It is time. Isn't it? Whatever happens to you, even as a devotee, is ordained by Krishna. Now that what's the verse 1323? What is it? Yeah. He oversees, he sanctions, he witnesses. You cannot say, Prabhu is independent of 1323. No. He's behind. A blade of grass is moving. That is also big. But of course, as devotees, when he intervenes in our lives, it's for our own betterment, because he cares for us. Whereas 1323 is just Paramatma. It's like Udasinavat, it's like a judge. I oversees, I witnesses, and I sanctions. It's like a judge. But Krishna says in the Gita, Samoham Savabhutishu, is if you are a friend to me, I'm a friend to you. It's no more Paramatma, it's Bhagavan. Bhagavan wants your well-being, he wants you back to the Lord. So now this is what we are discussing. And let's move on to 21. Now we're going to hear again the narrator, Sutta. Sutta Uvacha, Evam Dharme Pravadati La Samrat Vijasatamaha Samahitena Manasa Vikeda Paryachastatam.
Sutta Goswami said, O best among the Brahmanas, the Emperor Parikshit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied and without mistake or regret, he gave his reply.
So, and now we're going to hear the final verse. This is, I mean, for me, it's beautiful verse, but because, I mean, it's, you just listen to the loftiness of that verse. Rajo Varsha Dharmam Ravashi Armagya Dharmo Sigrisha Rupatri Yadadharma Kritastanam Suchakashyapi Tat Bhavet.
The king said, O you who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of religion.
I mean, have you ever seen such a lofty answer? What's the essence of that verse? 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 a very lofty, very high level philosophy here. This is our philosophy. Yes, Prabhu.
It's when you know the place of an activity or religious activity, then you also know the one who committed the activity, the guilty person.
Yeah. Not only that, that's a good start, but you have to go all the way. You are speaking according to the principle. The king is telling the bull that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts, in other words, a non-devotee, a vidani, an ugrakarmi, you follow? Is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. That's very high. In other words, if I pinpoint at you, Prabhu, I finger point at you, and I blame you for something that you did, even if it is well grounded, I partake the reaction. 50-50. That's the level of this verse. That's the verse. That's the level of Dharma. The bull is on that level. And is Maharaj Parikshit finding fault with that? No. You are immediately Dharmagya, you are Dharmagya. I bow down to you. Maharaj Parikshit doesn't speculate by saying, no, it's too high. He said, no, Dharmagya, you are. I bow down to you. You are not other than the personality of religion. Very high. This is the topmost level of Krishna consciousness here. Yes, Prabhu.
For this principle, where, for example, myself, I see something which might be not so beneficial for the devotional service, I guess, or something went wrong, and I say it, it's already that I get like some part of the reaction for it, like even if it's.
Yeah, so that's how would you answer to his claim, to his query? That's a very good query. That's oftentimes the common query that when we deal with that section. So how would you address that issue? It's beautiful, it's an honest claim, it's well-grounded. This claim is well-grounded. Yes?
If you make some criticism for something which went wrong, then you also get part of the reactions of this wrong activity or whatever took place there. Is like this is correct?
I would say, personally, correct me if I'm wrong, I would say there's a person entitled for that, who is the temple president or your guru. Now, how many times I've been blasted by my guru? Is my guru guilty? No, that is his duty. He's appointed for that. The guru has all rights to blast you. Is he going to partake of my reaction, of my guilt, of my misdeed? Is he going to partake of that misdeed of mine because he's correcting me, even blasting me? In Vedic times, sometimes even the boy would get shishya. Shishya means the verge of chastisement. They had a stick. Shishya means you get beaten in the days of yore. Is the guru going to take the reaction? No, because that is the appointed person to correct. Guru, even temple president, is the one. What you do is you refer, Prabhu, it seems to me, let me explain what happened. It seems to me something is a little off here, a little unusual. Can you please look into it? But you keep away. That's my humble advice. Don't start getting on the case of that person. That's you playing with fire. Anything else to be added here? Sanjay?
I cannot think of a particular example, but sometimes, not sometimes, but it may be that we see some faults with someone. I mean, there is an official level to such things, and it seems there is also And can we say like that? There's an unofficial level, but it's based on values. If there's compassion involved, it's not. There's no spirit of desiring bad, but there's a desire to help, even though one may not be in the point of personality. In
Yeah,
the official
that's-
sense, there may be some situations where one can intervene, although it doesn't seem. There are certain situations.
Certain exception. Okay, that's a good point. Let's say you are very good friends with that person. You know, you guys are very good friends. Then you can take the liberty because it's your buddy, you know. So then you can, in private, address Prabhu. It seems to me that remember that day. What do you think? You know, you are very humble and well situated in your consciousness. You want to help, like you say, you want to help. You want to his welfare. If there is if there is friendship, it can be done. But otherwise, out of the blue, don't overreact. Did the bull overreact? First question. Did he overreact? I mean, have you seen the level of the bull? Have you seen the level of the bull? It's Yamaraj himself, Dharmakya, who has done it. Then he goes, well, there's different schools of philosophy. That's lofty. So Maharaj Parikshit immediately goes down to that level. So yes, I agree. Yes, Paul.
Sometimes what I see myself when something, or for me, at least in my vision, is a little bit wrong. Normally, I don't go to anyone and say this is wrong, don't do it like this. But sometimes when I'm with other devotees, maybe with friends, or even with sometimes with younger devotees, even, I sometimes explain that maybe this could have been done better in this way. Just to,
That's fine.
that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. It would have been wrong here if, you know, Maharaj Parikshit, that's why it's very thorough. When you deal with advanced devotees, you have to be very thorough. This is you have seen the level of Maharaj Parikshit. He's very thorough. He's asking, are you sure? Are you not a demigod? You know, he wants to make sure before he comes, he wants to kill the Kali, but he wants to address all the possibilities. He's very thorough. He's dealing with very advanced devotees, the cow and Dhamagyan. They're all pure devotees here. This is pure devotees dealing with one another here. So he's very careful. He doesn't find fault. He could say, what's wrong with you, my dear boy? Can't you see? This is very primitive level. I just caught him red-handed. What are you talking about, my dear boy? That's a different level. That's what we could be doing. You know, you think we can't. But since the interested party is the bull, the Parikshit is just the third person. So he wants to hear from the bull because the bull is the interested party. He's the one who got bitten. So let me hear from him first. This is the level of Maharaj Parikshit. Yes, Sanjay.
I was wondering because Dharma is arguing that, or not arguing, but he's saying that if I start pointing the finger, I become implicated and unnecessary. I don't want this. But if you're asked by a policeman what was going on, it's his duty to ask for clarification. So if you help him to gain clarification, how do you become implicated?
Yeah, it reminds me of the story of Mondukamani. Remember? That's why Vidur got cursed. Remember the story? Mondukamani is, how does it go? Mondukamani was in his hermitage, meditating. Some dacoits had stolen something. They took shelter of his ashram. Remember? Police is running behind. Where are they? Not here. He wants to protect. He wants to protect them. But from what correct me if I'm wrong, he had to incur reaction because he was, when the police came, they embarked everyone. And the curse was, the punishment was, they have to be impaled on spades, on picks, on how do you put it? You know. And the king didn't know that he was one of the Canaan, and then finally found out, and he apologized, and he was saved at the last minute. And then Mandukimuni went to Yamaraj. What's wrong with you? You are misjudging me. And I curse you. So it's not the same level. See, it's not the same. You can see even within Bhagavatam, different levels of Krishna consciousness. You follow? When you see the fourth canto, the Vaishnav, followers of Daksha, and the Shivites, follower of Shiv, cursing each other, counter cursing. You remember the fourth canto? It becomes ugly. Prabhupada says, it is a low level of Vaishnavism. Cursing you. You're cursing me? What kind of Krishna consciousness is this? Even if you've been bitten, you don't curse. But again, if you curse means you expose yourself, you expose your real level of Krishna consciousness to others. Because the criteria, the yardstick is 117.22. Prabhupada, you may say, well, Prabhupada didn't act on that level. Why? Because a Uttam comes down to the level of Madhyam for the sake of preaching. Prabhupada used to say, you cut me, I cut you. Oh, it can be heavy also. You cut me, I cut you. So that's Madhyam, because he's a preacher. The Dhammakya is Maha Uttam. You know, Maharaj himself is a Mahajan. So he's showing us, we are in the Bhagavatam here. Jasadev has put this story because he wants to show us what is the top level of Krishna consciousness. Yes, Kubo.
Actually, we could take the example for leaders, kings, or whatever, who are in different positions to first ask the person who was, what to say, who was like to punish one or whatever, and what is his opinion, and then after who is especially it is the actor, and then to take the conclusion carefully. It's the right way.
Did you understand? I got a little lost.
It's understood as a leader, then if there's some situation, you can first go to the responsible person to the situation, then to the one who's found guilty. Then
Yeah.
to
That's a very wise manner. I should not. Oh yeah, we should stop. The GBC or the guru, he was not there when that thing happened. So he's going to inquire from the GP. What happened? Tell me. I just came. Inform me. And again, if the guru is very thorough, or the GBC is going to investigate ask the testimony of other devotees. Were you there when that happened? What is your analysis? He's going to hear, he's going to address, he's going to interview many devotees involved. Then, with the collaboration of the TP, we will give this verdict. That's the mode of goodness. You know. Hare Krishna. Let's take 15 minutes, I believe. Okay, let me.
Four principles: cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for will, and intoxication.
Yeah, so we have something in 24, I believe. Let me check. 24. Yeah. List the 4 principles of religion in English and Sanskrit. It's okay. What is it? Yes. Munindra Gantabu.
Pride, affection for woman, intoxication, Even addressing life, not fasting, not channels. We got also a question before. The focus is Satya, Daya, Tolerance, Moksha.
Yeah, that's part of a Dharma. Vishwanath explained. Smaya Sangha Madeya. Right? Sometimes we call Damba in Gita, it's called Damba, right? Here, Smaya, Sangha, Sri Sangha. Again, I don't want to go too much into that realm because it's not really your ashram. If you're duly married, there's no, I can at least say that. If you are duly married to a lady, there is no pap. Pap means sin. But according to your conduct with her, you will be either in pure devotional service or in mixed devotional service. You follow? That is why the bottom line is don't associate with lady if you're not married. And if you do, get married. There's always a transition time. You cannot get married as soon as you see the lady. Obviously not. So there's a time where you have to associate within a Krishna conscious way. And of course, you may say this has led to difficulties because sometimes in the early days, I remember, you get married to a lady, you hardly know her. That's also dangerous. Because 6 months, 1 year later, you realize you don't fit at all. But it's too late because you're already married. You follow? So ISKCON has still a long way to go when it comes to Grace Ashram. We are still in young movement. Okay, simple, huh? 25. Idanim dhamma padaste satyam nirvatayat yataha tim tam yam anritene dita karihi.
You are now standing on one leg only, which is your truthfulness, and you are somehow or other opening alone. But quarrel personifies Kali, forcing by sides, is also trying to destroy that leg.
So here we are dealing with another question, the activities that destroy the principles of religion, 24, 25, even 38. And here you can see, and yesterday we were discussing the principles of religion, austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness. That's the yardstick, whether you are a Muslim, that's secondary. People oftentimes hide behind their religion for the sake of escaping the real fundamentals of religion. That's an escape. They're escapist people. They're not sincere. And the other guy is not even claiming to belong to any religion, and more or less he follows those. As I was telling you in Bengal, they don't chant Hare Krishna, the villagers, but they're austere, they wake up at 4, they're clean, they take baths in the Ganga 2-3 times a day. Merciful, they're very merciful. They are poor, but they give you some chapati, please have a seat. They feed you. And they are truthful. So naturally, they follow the 4 regs. Since time immemorial. What destroys, please tell me, look at 24, 25, even 38, you can jump ahead and see. Yes, Prabhu.
Pride destroys austerity, female attraction destroys cleanliness, intoxication destroys mercy, and lying propaganda destroys truthfulness. And I have one question about, of course, everyone will ask himself this question here, because when we look in the internet or generally devotees, you hear that you hear it differently. You hear it completely, as you said, follow the principles. We say that meat eating destroys mercy, And here it is intoxication.
Yeah.
And so on. So the question is, do you know where does it come from? Is it bona fide or is it any speculation that it comes from somewhere? Because according to Prabhupada, it's different.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but it's interchangeable in one sense.
Interchangeable.
It is interchangeable. I've seen it also differently listed. It is interchangeable. The main thing is you have to follow those four legs. You know? That's why Prabhupada, in his genius, he came up with the four ranks. We could say, where did he get it from? He got it from this section. This is Bhagavatam. And you can see it pops out in his purport. He wrote that in 62. ISKCON was not existing. 62. He was still in India. The mass of people must be taught to practice these principles from child. Austerity means to accept voluntary things which may not be very comfortable for the body. That's a wide principle. But that conducive for spiritual realization, fasting, for instance. Then he explained twice a month, nirjal, all these things. Cleanliness, not only body. I remember one devotee, my Guru Bhai in Bangladesh, because I was telling him, I was not the one telling him, but one of my godbrother, Rajadama, he told him, well, it's dirty, in your country it's dirty. Because, in India, we have seen they tend to litter. So he answers, I remember, he said, we are dirty externally, but we are clean inside. And in the West, it's clean outside, but dirty inside. And I was like, wow, it's a good answer. Yeah, Germany, Switzerland, France, less. But these are Paca countries. I don't see any. It's clean. I've been walking around, it's clean. The country is clean. You guys are clean. Much more than French people. Even you go in the country in France, it's not well neat and clean. It's a bit disarray, a bit of disarray. That's the mentality of the people. But here, back to 25, Prabhupada he advocates cleanliness inside and outside. It's not sufficient to be clean in outside. And of course, his translation is Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Katha. A godless civilization cannot cleanse the mind. Full stop. He's very blunt, Prabhupada. He said, I cannot. Remember the reporter, he told Prabhupada, oh, I heard you are washing people's brainwashing. But say, yes. Can you imagine? He's going along with the time, with the flow. In those days, 70s, the brainwashing. He said, yes, you are dirty. We have to wash them. Prabhupada is not, Buddhism used to say all the time, Prabhupada is not politically correct. I remember that all the time. It's true, Prabhupada is not here to navigate in such a way to get the favor of the journalists, the TV, the radio. It's not like that, navigating like a political person. That is so pure and blunt. This is his power. Many gurus before him, they had to dilute. They came to the West, diluting the message for the sake of bringing people on board. So don't worry so much, Prabhuji. It's interchangeable. I know what you're saying. I've noticed that many times. See, he wrote that in 62. Then ISKCON opened in 66. He refined it a little bit. He fine-tuned it, but it is the same. Where are we? 26. Iyam Chabumir Bhagavata Nyasitoru Barasati Srimad Vistat Pada Nyase Savatakrita Kotuta.
The burden of the work was certainly diminished by the personality of God and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints.
So who is speaking? Twenty-six? Yes. Yes, you're right. 22. So you can see he's making the same point as the cow a few verses ago. Remember, she had the mercy of being treaded upon by the lotus feet of the Lord. And even Kunti makes the same point. What is that verse? Vipadu Shanta. You know the verse? Vipadu Shanta. You know, I would rather suffer. At least you're going to stay with us. Now you're going, my son is back on the throne, everything is rosy, but I'm afraid that the sons of the kings who got dead, who got killed in battle, will retaliate. You please stay with us. Because at least, and calling for more difficulties even, Krishna, if need be. So at least you'll stay with us. But better off than to be well situated, running the show, Vedic kings, my son is in charge. There's no more waves. I don't see it well, my dear Krishna. Rather, I call for difficulties. That's very advanced also. Then 27, Sochatyashku Kala Sadvi Durbagevo Jita Sati Abramanya Nripa Vyaja Shudra Bokshanti Mamiti.
Now she is the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of God, laments her future with tears in her eyes, for now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lordless men who pose as rulers.
I think we have nothing coming up here. Let's see. Nothing before long time, 32. So here it's quite obvious, and this is Parikshit Maharaj. It's quite straightforward now. And of course, the alternative, now Prabhupada always does that. Did you notice the alternative in 27? How can you rectify the whole situation? It's so far down. But at least chant Hare Krishna, do Harinam down the street. Bhagavat Shravan, teach Bhagavatam, teach Gita. You can, it's as powerful as the Vedic Varnashram, if not more. Educating the people systematically in the teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam, that's what we're doing. Prabhupada himself launched these diplomas in 76. I've got the letter. Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vibhav, Bhakti Vedant, Bhakti Sarabham. It was launched by Prabhupada. 76. We're not doing something whimsical here. We're following the agenda. 28. Iti dharmam mahim sheva samsvait vidva maharataha nishatam madare khadgam kalayidama hitave.
Maharaj Parikshit could fight 1,000 enemies single-handedly, thus pacified the personality of religion and the earth. Then he took up his sharp sword to kill the personality of Kali, who is the cause of all irreligion.
So can you imagine how long it took? Since the time he met, he caught Kali red-handed, remember? Remember the verse? It's 116.4, I think. And we are 117.28. So he's a very thorough person, very thoughtful person. He has been discussing with others, the cow, the bull. He has, and now he's coming to the act, putting out his sword. This is Vishwanath thing. So let's see what Prabhupada says. Yeah, same old story. He's pushing he wants the leaders to implement action. Don't be lenient. In France, it's crazy. Murderers are walking freely. There's an assumption that he may have killed him, he may not have killed him. Okay, so we'll put you a bracelet on the ankle. You know what it is, a bracelet? You cannot fly out. In other words, wherever you are in France, they can see. There's like a camera within the bracelet. You cannot get away, but murderers are walking freely in France. I don't know if that's a state of affair here, but in France, this is a state of affair. Even the police the other day, they say on TV, they said we have to admit that we cannot fully protect you. Police, big shot in the police say we lack of manpower. Who wants to be a policeman? Number one. Number two, there's not enough policemen. Plus, I have a friend who's policeman nearby where I live. He told me, even if a gangster pulled a gun, I have the right to pull the gun once he has pulled the gun. Welcome to France. I was living in America for quite a few years. You make one mistake, even if it is an assumption, you are against the car, there's a revolver here. They don't draw. Practically speaking, unless you are being shot at, you cannot retaliate. This is the craziness. And he was telling me that even if I turn in the culprits, if it's not a very severe crime, register his name, few hours is out again. Let's say you steal a camera, a phone in Paris, you get caught. What's going to happen to you? They bring you to the station, give your name, out. This is Paris. So the guy, what is he doing? Next Sunday, starts again to go in the restaurant and start to steal, or pickpocketing is for pickpocketing. This is the leniency is beyond words, beyond words. I think Germany is stricter, huh? Isn't it? You're right. You're absolutely right. Prabhupada is adamant, and he has this adamant. Prabhupada is a mixture of Brahminic Kshatriya also. No? Do you agree with me? He's a general. He's a Kshatriya. He's a Rajarishi. If you ask me to put Srila Prabhupada in an ashram, Ban ashram, I would say Brahmin Kshatriya. Do you agree? He's got a military demeanor. We cannot deny. 29. Tam jigam summa vipretya vihayan ripa launchanam tat paramulam shirasa samagadvaya vibalaha.
When the personality of Kali understood that the king was willing to kill him, he at once abandoned the dress of a king and, under pressure of fear, completely surrendered to him, bound his head.
So is it fake? Is it false surrender or real surrender? I would have put that in your question bank. I mean, I don't know if I've done that thing, but I would have put much more, different questions. Those are fine, but I would have also added up other stuff. Is it fake or real? Yes, Prabhu.
Looks like it's real because he has great fear.
It's real. He knows. I cannot fool around with that king. He knows. I don't stand a figure compared to Maharaj Parikshit. Even Keri is a demigod, no? Technically, he's a demigod. He's not a human. But no chance. No chance. Yes, Prabhu.
Could you please explain a bit more what's coming? Because
I shouldn't have said that. I know, when I say that, I know it's they're gonna get on my case. 11, 8th canto. I don't want to, I already am a little tight. 8th canto, there is a section that 8 types of demigods. 8 types of demigods. Kali is, it's not a human, at least you know that, right? It's not a human person. It's a jiv, but it falls in the category of demigods in a wide spectrum. See, there's a lot of people higher than humans. They may not be good intention, like Rakshasa. They're not humans. They have siddhis. They're much higher than us. Rakshasas, Asuras. And you find minor demigods, major demigods, presiding deities. There's different. But Kali is the age of quarrel. So he has his time. You cannot say, if you are in January, here must be cold. Isn't it? You cannot say, well, what's wrong with the weather? We are in January. So we are in January. Meaning we are in a Kali Yuga. But again, so we are, it's a saving grace. It should have been January, but sometimes in January you find 15 days of very good weather. That's what's happening to us. It's a golden age within the month of January. You follow? So Kali has his role to play. That is why it's going to be spared, by the way. There's a higher cause behind. In other words, Kali is kept at bay. He has been kept at bay by Krishna. He has been kept at bay by Yudhishthira, Parikshit. And even us, if we had Prabhupada on the planet Earth, one time Prabhupada said, if I have strong devotees with me, in 18 days, I take over this planet. Is this arrogance? 18 days. Can you imagine how long we open this camp? 50 years, 60 years, but because we are baby boys and girls. We are just like a toddler, you know, we know how to walk a little bit without falling too much. But Prabhupada said if I had other people, strong devotees in 18 days, Prabhupada took over the planet in 12 years alone. Well, took over in the sense, at least in terms of ideology. You know, this ideology of Krishna consciousness, it's soundproof. It's waterproof. You cannot defeat. Even the Russians, before the curtain, they used to say, the West, America, and Krishna consciousness. It's very different. They can top over this country. The Russian leaders come to that conclusion. Before Gorbachev, Gorbachev can open the door. But before they knew, this is dangerous, very dangerous. They don't. There's no way we can hold against this people. That's why they were, remember 90s, 80s, 90s, they were persecuting the devotees, beating the devotees, killing the devotees. A lot of Russian devotees, but tortured. The leaders knew we cannot stand against them. Yeah, so talking about Kshatriya here. Kshatriya doesn't surrender like a weakling. I surrender. This is nonsense. Even there's a story of a queen, Muslim queen. Even the Muslim got it right. In those days, fighting Hindus against Muslim. And then she's told by some servant, oh, your husband is at the door, the big palace. Can we open the door? She said, it's not my husband. Because the servant, she asked the servant, is he on his horse? Is it with his chariot? No, he's on foot. It's not my husband. So the servant said, no, it's our master. It's your husband, my dear lady. She said, no, don't open the door. It's not that. Why did she say that? Yes, Prabhu.
Either he will come back from the office, he won the back or she wouldn't accept him.
Can you imagine? It's like Muslim, no? They were high value people, no? He had to leave the place, he never saw his wife again. He was intelligent, he understood. My wife is like this. He's getting the point. I leave this place. I lost. You dare to come back to your palace in front of your wife, the princess? It's not even heard of. It's unheard in the days of India, during the Middle Ages. Don't surrender. Better die. We have seen in the Gita. Dishonor is worse than that. 30, Patitam Padayo Vira, Kripaya Dinavatsalaha, Sharanyo Navadish Shlokya, Ahachidam Asaniva.
Maharaj Parikshit, who was qualified to accept surrender worthy of being son in history, did not feel the full surrendered and wholehearted, but smiled compassionately, for he was hands to the poor.
See, Prahasan, what's the meaning of Prahasan? We discussed in the Gita 210. Prahasan, why is it Prahasan here? Prahasan means Prahasan, asam thing, Prahasam, asam, to smile. Just like the Gita 210, remember? Arjuna doesn't want to surrender. In 290, drops his gun with the bow, is like sulking practically. And Krishna is smiling. In 210 is smiling. Is he sarcastic? Is he finding fault with Arjuna? Is he mocking at him? Perhaps he's smiling because his friend is in a major predicament, and he's going to give him the solution. So here, in the same way, why is Maharaj Parikshit smiling? Interesting, huh? The very interesting person, Maharaj Parikshit. When you get to know him as far as possible, it's quite an attaching person. Why is he smiling? Vishwanath is here, he's telling us.
Because he had not given up his.
Prabhu?
His light is smiled because he had not given up his anger. His plan has been made by the Lord. Today you have been protected from my hand, though I want to kill you. Because you saw the plan of Krishna behind it.
Exactly. He is angry. You cannot kill someone if you're not angry, but first of all, his anger is how do you say, at check, at subdued, yes, very good. It's being checked anger, subdued anger, but it's there, it's brewing. And plus, he knows the Dharma, it's Dharma Gya. Can you imagine, he's the grandnephew of Maharaj Yudhishthira, who is Yamaraj himself, right? The son of Yamaraj. So you can see, it seems to me that Parikshit is very close to Yudhishthira. Even closer to Yudhishthira than Arjuna. Did you notice? Because Yudhishthira is a Maharaja Rishi, such a Brahmin, and Parikshit is also a mixture of Kshatriya, no doubt, but a Brahmin. He has a very strong Brahminical side. I would say it's closer to Yudhishthira than Arjuna. Arjuna was more the Kshatriya. Yudhishthira was more the Brahmin Kshatriya. Parikshit the same. I cannot kill him. Why? Because he has to remember that it's a principle. It's a higher principle. If he had killed him, he would be at it. This is the finish. 2:7. Krishna is telling, Arjuna is telling, please tell me, it's Samudachitaha, it's bewildering. So Dharma can be very bewildering. You follow? Now it would be improper to kill him. Even though There's so many good reasons to kill him. But considering Kala Desha Patra, particularly now, improper. That's why he's smiling, because he can see the hands of Krishna. Krishna is very tricky. Just like Arjun, do the needful, Arjun, kill Ashvatthama, don't kill him. Arjun can play, he can navigate, very fine-tuned, he can understand intricacies what Krishna wants. This is pure devotion. Otherwise, we get bewildered. This plan has been made by the Lord. He can see immediately, he's not before. He can see the lamp, the hand of God. So it doesn't, then I don't kill you. 31. Rajovacha nate gudakeshya shodaranam budong gyaleve bayam atiz kinchit navatitavyam bhavata chana kshetre maniye tuam adama bandhu. Adama bandhu, it's clear. Adama bandhu means you force the kshetriya. Go ahead.
The king thus said, we have inherited the fame of our leader. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. But you cannot remain in my kingdom, for you are then irreligion.
Yeah. No, it's a real surrender. We cannot comply. He's fearing for his life. He would have killed. He would have died. As simple as that. 32, there's a question attached to it. Twam Vartamanam Naradev Dehesh Panu Pravito Yadadama Pugaha Labun Ritam Suryamanariam Amho Shestacham Maya Kalahascha Gamba. Gamaha means vanity, pride.
The personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head. Certainly, irreligious principles like falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound.
This is the purpose. I was telling you, Prabhupada doesn't hide behind religion here. He's putting forward those 4 pillars. What is the question here? 32. What should be the state's attitude towards religion? See, this is, sorry, go ahead.
It's not necessary for anyone to change religion, but to hold on to principles, support principles.
Exactly. That's that's the mistake France did in 1905. In the name of secularism, they say, no, we cannot, up to 1905, more or less, the church and the state, even the kings of France, unless they are coronated by the Pope in Rome, they would not dare even to become kings. Even if they are duly inheriting from the father, but they wouldn't dare. They know, they had this subservience to the Pope in Vatican, in Rome. But because, just like there's a saying in Bengali, a fish rots from the head. What's the meaning of that? A fish starts rotting from the head. You follow?
Society starts to rot from the intellectuals.
Exactly. What happened in the Middle Ages in Europe, even in Germany, most probably? The Vatican themselves became corrupted. Isn't it true? One time there was a pope. They thought it was a pope, and one day he got pregnant. And the pope was a girl. So can you imagine the corruption? The level of the corruption? They understood, wow, we got before the actually it's a woman. So automatically, just imagine the state of affair. amongst the kings of Europe, France, Spain, most probably Germany, they're thinking to themselves, I mean, we are corrupted, we are kings, but look at them. So from that time onwards, that was the downfall of the clergy. Clergy is the Brahminical power in Europe, Vatican. And rightly so, because there was a lot of orgia, even orgies is called. The Borgia, I don't know if you know the Borgia family in Italy during 15th century. They were doing nonsense, big time. The kings of France and other countries, let's separate ourselves from the Vatican. Then they started to run the show on their own. And because they're not guided by Brahmins, by priests, by the clergy, in turn, they start to exploit the lower strata of society, namely the aristocrats, the bourgeois. Right? And you can see the story of France. And then for 15 centuries, the kings ruled up to Louis XVI. What happened to Louis XVI? Beheaded. So they got rid of the kings. Because why? Because the kings were not properly anymore abiding by the Vatican, because the Vatican was degraded itself. So the kings are ruling on their own. At the end of the day, got beheaded. Who came next? After the kings? Yeah. In other words, it was like the bourgeois. Now, bourgeois means the aristocracy. And Napoleon was a guy from the low ranking. He went up the ladder. It was quite a good strategy. He had very good strategy. But again, Napoleon pushed it even further because he became an emperor of Europe. But what I'm trying to say is, because of the downfall of the clergy, it has created the downfall of the whole social edifice. You follow? So the Bengali saying is true. A fish rots from the head. If the head is rotten, the whole thing will tumble down like a castle of cards. Because why? Because they're not doing their job anymore of guiding the kings. Because the kings have the executive power. They will in turn, not properly guided, they will exploit the lower layers of society. You follow? And you come to today's world, democracy run by Shudra. They have taken one guy from the populace, elected him as a president. He's a Shudra, he's a Polish Shudra. Am I wrong? This is what it is. Democracy. That's why Prabhupada was so much heavy against democracy. It cannot work. We are led by a Shudra, by Shudras. So the state attitude should be 32, that don't hide yourself behind a religion. These are the pillars. Are you respecting the pillars? In 1905 in France, that's what they did. No, now we work separately. And the state started saying, okay, we cannot advocate one particular religion anymore, like we used to. So let's do something. Let's create another religion, which is called secularism. In France, this is what they do. They try to make us believe that secularism is another religion. You follow? Secularism means what?
Everyone believes what he likes.
Sorry, Paul?
Everyone can believe what he likes.
Yeah. But don't make waves. Don't make waves. That is why Prabhupada was not well appreciated, because he's making waves. You follow?
Making what?
Waves. Prabhupada, remember during in America in the 70s, we were prosecuted because we are a cult. Remember? And people, even parents of devotees, would kidnap their own son, hiring kidnappers. I don't know if you remember, I wasn't there, but I know devotees got kidnapped. Papa said, you go to the court, you bring Bhagavatam to the court, in front of the judge, the 12 cantos. And the TP of New York, he was brave. He said, yes, and they did it. And Papa told him, every day when you are being prosecuted, you speak about one verse at a time. You give a class. Can you imagine the level, the audacity in the court of America? And the devotees did it. And the judge was practically shaking at the end. It was a long, long court process. It didn't happen in one day. And at the end of the day, of the court system process, he called one of his friends who was a theologian. And this guy, Krishna's arrangement, he happened to have read the books of Prabhupada. Can you imagine the arrangement of Krishna? And he told his friend, the judge, oh, they are a bona fide person. I'm telling you, I'm reading the books. It's high level. And the judge said, oh, thank you. Next day, verdict, bona fide religion. They can preach anywhere in America. And all the anti-cult, shedding tears will last the process. Prabhupada was right. Be blunt. We have such a high philosophy. Why should we be timid and shy? You follow? If you are attacked, you have to, this is the point here. Prabhupada doesn't buy it. If you try to hide behind a particular religion, he doesn't buy it. Look at the 32. It doesn't matter. This is Upadi, Muslim, Jewish. These are Upadis. Sarvopadi Vinay Mutam. The main thing is, do you follow the 4 tenets of religion? But it's so expert. Let's move on. 33. Na vartitavyam tadama bandhu damina satyana cha vartitavya brahmavarte yachaya janti yagya yageshvaram yagya vitana vidyaha. Go ahead. 33.
Therefore, all friends of the religion who do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of God.
So Brahmavart, did you notice? Brahmavart appears in this purport. What's the meaning of Brahmavart? I know it's not your question. I would have asked this question if I'd been running this institute.
A place where sacrifice.
So Simhacalam is Brahmavart. As simple as that. If you worship Krishna, it's Brahmavart. It's not it's also a geographical area in India, Brahmavart, yes. But it means wherever you worship the Lord. Even a church, if the priest is doing his job according to 4 pillars, austerity, this is Brahmavart. Wherever the 4 pillars are being established, this is Brahmavart. We're not saying Hindus, Muslim. Is it Brahmavart? What is Brahmavart? Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, truthfulness. One time Prabhupada visited one temple in Australia. Srila Sundar Prabhu took him there. Irish community that came in 1959 in Australia, very austere and extremely, they had a beautiful serving attitude. When Prabhupada arrived in the car, they were lining up and Dandavat, not Dandavat, but at least salutation, Prabhupada gave a speech. Extremely docile people. They are monks, real monks. Then they prepare a feast of vegetarian dishes because they had a lot of land, a lot of sabjis growing, fruits. They made a beautiful feast. They gave gift to Prabhupada, gift to Shama Sundar. Prabhupada was surprised. He stayed a few hours, everything is clean. And he said, when he left back in the car, he said, they are perfect, except they eat meat. But see, he was impressed. Their attitude, they're good practitioners, they're not fake, but ignorance is there in the form of meat eating. Oh, Prabhupada was very impressed with them. So there's a need of just, that part is very important. Give prasad. They never told me 40 years ago, stop meat. Devotees would give me plates like this. We had a restaurant in Paris. I would eat 2 plates. I was 25. Of course I became vegetarian. No one told me stop the meat. Palam Dejvani Vartate, higher takes, stop the meat. It's not rocket science. Give them prasad. Let's see Vishwanath here, perhaps, if he has something. 32, 33, perhaps. Yeah, Brahmavad means Dharma and truth. It can be reintroduced. Brahmavad, Germany can become Brahmavad gradually. France also. Yasmin Hari Bhagavan Ijyamana Ijyatmamuti Yajatim Shamtanuti Kamama Mogam Stirajangamanam Anta Bahir Bayu Ivesha Atma.
In all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, is worshipped because he is the super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside like the air. Thus, it is he only who awards all welfare to the worshipper.
So what can we say here? See, Prabhupada is so pushy. Did you notice? The king or executive head must be so strong as to stand before the personality of Galilee, like the personality of death. But it's extremely heavy. You take actions, you kill the guy. There's no, this nonsense of, I don't know about here, but in France they stopped death penalty in 74. This is nonsense. Is it still happening in Germany?
No, you mean death?
Death penalty?
No.
It was abolished, I guess, around the same time, 74. In India, you get hanged. America, electrical chair. Like you mentioned yourself, because at least you purge out your karma. It's true. Now they have fallen to the other extreme leniency. Or he had a very bad childhood. You have to understand it's such a bad childhood. Come on. That's the foremost attitude of a leader. He should be strong. He should protect the citizens and get rid of the gundas, the dacoits, ruffians. Now Kelly, finally, he's going to speak. Kelly Ruvaj, Yatrag Kwa Vata Vatsyami Savabum Tavagyaya Lakshayeta Chata Trapi Twam Ateshu Sharasanam. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it. Go ahead. Pariksha Devam Adishta Sakali Jata Vipatu Samujata Simma Hedam Dandapanim Nivo Jatam.
Here's what Prabhupada said. The personality of Kali was to be ordered by Maharaj Parikshit began to tremble in fear, seeing the king before him like Yamavan, ready to kill him. Kali spoke to the king as follows.
See, so this is very clear. This is Dharma. I'm going to kill him. He's not afraid or he doesn't have second thoughts. But Vishwanath explained, if he follow my order, then I won't kill him. See, on the flick of a moment, he can reverse his decision. Because it's based on Dharma. This is quite an elevated level. Huh? I'm going to kill him. Next second, I'm not going to kill him. Because the attitude has changed in him, hence I have to follow another set of Dharma. This is Dharma. And on the contrary, if I kill him now, I will be at fault. The finesse. Dandapanim, like Yamaraj, is himself Yamaraj. The king should be like that, Yamaraj. Naradev is a representative of Yamaraj. Very powerful. People should be, it's a mixture of respect, afraid, and admiration. Admiration means you are in awe. You know? You are in awe. Awe means, you understand? You are in awe. You are afraid, but you are in awe. And you are respectful. This is king. He runs. Can you imagine this? The size of his sovereignty? The whole time with him. So it's not a small boy. It's very small. Even Bibar Saga is under his jurisdiction. This is the level of connection now. No one will interfere with Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Yudhishthira. So now, finally, 36, Kali Ruvach, Yatra Vatsiami Savaboma, Tavagyaya, Lakshayeta Trata, Trapitwam, Ateshu, Sharasasam.
O your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall not see you with bow and arrows wherever I live.
So please explain something, Prabhu.
Kali is expressing his fear. Why is he trembling? Why is he answering in that way? He speaks, but he speaks out of fear. And wherever he goes, he might see Parikshit that fear with bow and arrow about to kill him.
It's not a joke, it's real. You understand? He has a good grasp of the philosophy, huh? Kali, you're going to see. Even Ravan had good grasp. Hiranyakashipu had very good grasp. Doesn't mean demons, they don't know the philosophy. Prabhupada explain what is the difference between Asur and Suras. Very interesting definition. Does it mean, do Asuras not know the philosophy? That's not the criterion. Asuras and Suras, what is the difference? Yes, Prabhu?
One accepts the religious principles given by God directly and follows them, and one doesn't.
Yeah. Even Asuras may accept the existence of God. You know that? But they're not going to surrender. They're not subservient. Dhritarashtra accepted the position of Krishna as God. He was not against it. But so much subservient to his son. And Krishna says, if you hate my devotees, I hate you. I take the side of my devotees. Dhritarashtra didn't hate, Duryodhana even didn't hate Krishna. That was not his problem. Duryodhana hated the Pandavas. That put him against Krishna. Duryodhana technically had nothing to do against Krishna. But he hated the Pandavas. Hence, he became a Asura. And now, see, Vishwanath is saying, I have no place to live. And then he's playing with the words, kill me. See, he's also quite dramatic, Kelly. Kill me. He knows very well he's not going to be killed. But kill me, because I've fallen at your feet now. Are you going to kill me? Kill me if you want. He knows very well Parikshit is such a Dharmagya. He's not going to kill him. Yes, Prabhu.
I was asking myself the question now, is it rightly to understood that he did not ask for forgiveness, but he surrendered to Maharaj Parikshit, but he surrendered in the attitude, okay, I surrender, but kill me when I surrender to you. I mean, you know, explained now it was like a joke, but I understand something means it's serious. That he says, I surrender to you, but anyway, kill me then like this. Kill me as a surrendered soul.
Exactly. So it's a bit sarcastic. He knows very well he's not going to be killed because he's surrendering.
Does he? My question is this: does he know he will be forgiven if he surrenders?
Well, he knows. He knows the caliber the person he's talking to. So he knows I'm going to be spared. But he's a bit fruity. What does he say? Please give me a place to live. And he knows very well. See, you have to understand, Kali is not a joke. He's not a small boy. Huh? He knows what's going to happen. Don't you think he doesn't know? He doesn't know the unfolding events ahead. Of course he knows. He knows he's going to be spared. That at this time, he's empowered. He's empowered. He knows. I'm going to be spared, and I'm going to manage to infiltrate the system, namely with Shringi. It's coming up. But he knows he doesn't stand a chance because Parikshit Maharaj, Bhagavatam, Krishna is Pagati. He knows the whole thing, Kali. That's why he's a demigod. You follow? He's not a bewildered human being who happened to be here, who happened to kill, to beat the bull and the cow in the legs, just by chance. No. He's part of the show. He's part of the Lila. By playing his part, he plays his part very well, by the way. He knows this is philosophy, this is tattva. If someone surrenders to you, even Ram, remember Ram, what did he say? Even if Ravan comes now, then surrender, I will accept it. Remember? Lord Ram. That's ultimate tattva. You surrender to Krishna. Even Krishna says, you surrender unto me. That's the tattva. Are we following 1866? Even today, after 40 years? But we're in the process of following 1866. Even that Krishna accepted us. Because the tattva is there. Tattva of surrender. You cannot go around this tattva of surrender. That's a very strong tattva in Vedic culture. So he knows. He's a very intelligent guy. He's playing with that. 37. Tanme dharma britam shreshta stanam nirgleshtu marasi yatreva niyato vatsya atishtam ste nusha stanam.
Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government.
That's a tattva. Surrendered soul should be given all protection. That's an irrevocable fact. Even if the person is a bit biased inside, that remains a tattva. You have seen in India, there was fighting against Muslim and Hindus for centuries. One Hindu king, forgot his name, he won the battle 17 times in a row. 17 times against the Muslim. Each time, he would spare the Muslim king. 18 times. Who is winning the battle? Muslim. Muslim, what did he do? He killed the Hindu. Just immediately. You can see the difference of consciousness. Prabhupada said, you know what he said? He said, it's because of the Hindus that the Muslim came. Ever since the 8th century or 12th century, Muslim came in India. Because they have a misconception of the philosophy. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Where is it written in the Bhagavad Gita, Om Shanti? Can you show me? What is this nonsense? See, it's a hodgepodge. Hinduism is a hodgepodge. The word Hindu doesn't exist in the Shastra. Have you seen the word Hindu in the Shastra? It's coming from the Persian. You know the story, right? There's a Sindhu River demarcating between today Pakistan and India. And way back in the 12th century, when the Persian would call people on the other side of the river, they would say the Sindhu, the Sindhu, the Sindhu, the Sindhu, the Sindhu, the Hindu. Because in Persian, the S doesn't practically exist. So over the period of time, the Sindhu became the Hindu. It's a word coined by the Muslim. It's not a Shastric term anyway. Doesn't exist. It's a hodgepodge. So sparing the Muslim king was nonsense. Full stop. And he spared him 17 times, 18 times. Muslim kings wins, he kills the Hindu. He's doing his job. Papa said because of the Hindu Muslim king. Because they are, extremely forbearing, tolerant, and they don't do the job of Dharma. The Rajarishi king, the kings of Hinduism didn't do the job properly. Only Jaipur kings, they were strong. Jaipur was never taken. Jaipur majesty. Never taken. Because the king of Jaipur were very powerful. But many other provinces, they would even befriend the Muslim. Just like in France during World War II, many French people would befriend with the Germans. That's why they were ostracized. King means strong. As simple as that. Now Sutta is back in the picture. Suto vacha avyartitas tadatas me stanani kalaye gado aram sriya sunaya chadava shatu vidaha.
Sutta was not said. Maharaj Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed.
So let's see here. Yes, 38, 39, we've got some stuff here. We might as well say 39 also. Punaschaya chamanaya jatarupam madad prabhu tatunritam madam kamam rajo viram chapam shamam.
First, now the Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity.
Where did Kali receive permission to reside? Simple question. Yeah. Simple. Well, that's number two. Number one, 38, he says, gambling, drinking, there's not such place. So number two, gold. So what to say? What can we say? See, Prabhupada is in 38, he's giving some guidelines. He told the same to Indira Gandhi in 75. He was guiding her how to administer the state of India. Can you imagine? How much Prabhupada is daring? He's speaking to Indira Gandhi. He told her, give the boys some visa. He told, first thing he did. Devotees had time to get visa in those days, especially white people. So he told, please arrange the visas. And she was, yes, sir, yes. And she was like, practically writing down. You know? She never implemented. But Prabhupada was dictating to her what to do. This is the power of meeting the first lady of India. So here, same story. We are in 62 here, 1962 India. Fasting twice a month. Marry the boys and girls early, 24-16. Don't mix the genders in the school. Still today they do in India. No illicit connection. See, these are, practically speaking, we have been discussing about the 4 pillars. That should be printed out, given to all the states, all the statements of this planet Earth. This is the printout, by the way. We're giving you 11738. You follow. Yes.
It says here for general people that fasting 2 times a month, but this only more or less established Ekadashi, but only without grains and lentils.
That's a very good point. Prabhupada, considering our origin as Videshi, Videshi means white, he kind of lowered down the standard so low. If you have been living in India long enough, I lived 12 years in India, Ekadashi means the day before Ekadashi, 1 meal, noon. Then you don't eat the rest of the day. Next day, Ekadashi, Nirjal. Ekadashi means Nirjal. No water. Then 64 hours. That night you don't sleep. Next day, 1 meal. This is Aribhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami, 16th century. So Prabhupada, he lowered the system just to accommodate us. My Guru Maharaj told me way back in 87, you do Nirjal. I've been doing Nirjal all the time because that was his instruction. It's not difficult to do Nirjal. 24 hours without drinking this. Your body can last 2 months without eating. But you can see back to 38, Prabhupada is shooting out. It detailed. He has the caliber, Prabhupada, to run a planet. If you had given him the planet Earth, easily he can run it. Easily. Isn't it true? And then he thought of even below Bhakti, Kama Yoga, Yad Kaloshi, Yad Asnashi, Yad Roshi, Yad Asiyat, Bhagavatam. He told Indira Gandhi, you stop the workers in the factories of India, morning 15 minutes, evening 15 minutes. Have them chant Hare Krishna, a little kata, Bhagavad Gita also. Chanting, Vaishnav Seva. This is not rocket science, I mean, to change the trajectory of this planet. The problem is we have reluctant leaders. They're holding on to their privileges. They know I've got 4 years, 5 years ahead of me to make it happen for me, to cash out, to get fringe benefit from this deal, so many perks. They're not thinking of the welfare of the population. It wouldn't be not so difficult to make the planet Earth Krishna conscious. Huh? Just follow 38. You follow? But the problem, the leaders are putting their foot on the brake. They don't want to hear. Because they know who is electing the leaders, the Shudras. So it's a vicious circle. You follow? Oh, we're going to change the leaders, it's no good. But the system itself is vicious. Because next guy is as bad as the other one. The system is vicious. So now, talking about gold, we're going to see. Gold it's a double-faced discussion. There's good and bad in gold. We're going to discuss. Punascha, now 39 we did. Amuni Pancha Stanani Yadama Prabhava Kalihi Atoriyena Datani Nyavasatan Nidesh Krit.
Das bedeutet, wir Kali, the directions of Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uddara, was allowed to live in those 5 places.
Yeah. 5 places means?
Fashion, gambling, prostitution, slaughtering, and count.
Yeah, or you could say, you could draw from 39, falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, enmity. It's fine. Now, it's very interesting. We're going to talk about gold standardization. So what do you know about that? It's interesting because it's quite contemporary. I mean, within my lifetime, I remember. 71, Nixon is the guy who removed the gold standardization. I was 12. And because America did it, the whole world did it. Before even Germany, before 71 or so, you had gold, France also. You cannot emit paper money, unless it is backed by gold. I'm sure in Norway must have been the same, no? Everything turned around 71, Nixon. So please explain. It's coming up in the next chapter, verses, but we can discuss now already. What's the benefit of gold? There's good and bad. But that is coming up later. Yeah, I think I'll wait for until it comes, because in that purport, Prabhupada is talking about the negative aspect. Okay, so let's not be quicker than the music. This is 40. Yeah, Prabhupada explained in 38, and one bring the other. If you drink, you have to eat meat. Prabhupada explained like this one. Why do you have to eat meat if you drink?
Digestion.
Prabhupada is so sharp. If you drink alcohol, you gotta eat meat to help digest. And then if you do meat eating and drinking, what's next? Woman. Because you see what happened, everything is scientific. You are extremely anxious in your mind. Not even in terms of digestion, you feel bad. And you're anxious. You have to find some leisure because your body doesn't feel good. So and if you drink meat, if you drink alcohol and meat, you are automatically attracted by. It's going to weigh onto the genitals. Rupa Goswami says, Vacho vegam, manasa kuda vegam, jiva vegam, udara. So everything is interconnected. If you drink meat, woman, it's part of the same package. And women don't want to get married, so you end up having illicit relation. This is Kali Yuga. It's very well orchestrated. Now, Kali knows his job, but Prabhupada knows his job too. That's the. See, Vishwanath on 39. First, I must enter their minds. Vishwanath is so sharp, he's explaining the mentality of Kali. Kali is a very sharp person. I must enter their minds, meaning the minds of the Kali Yuga people. Therefore, the king gave Kali materials represented by gold, even low metal, which is also precious metal, but silver is precious metal. And automatically, if you put gold in big quantity, it attracts low. Low means greediness. 40, where are we? 41, I think. Yeah, this is just grammar stuff. Sometimes putting a lot of grammar. 41. We did 41? No. Ate tanina sevita bubushu purusha kvachit visheshato dhamma shiro rajalokapati guruhu. Go ahead.
The person who desires his own benefit, and particularly the, I can't read it.
Oh, sorry. I was checking the questions. Yeah.
Person who desires his own benefit, and particularly the religious king, the protector of people and the teacher, should not indulge in these five items.
So we know, you can see it's not everyone. Even in the Vedic village, do you know how the Vedic villages were built? Have you been to in the South India, Sri Lanka? Who has gone to Sri Lanka? Yashomati Nanda? Yeah? No? So you have seen the temples in the middle? Very big temple. This is the biggest temple. It's offered by Lord Narayan to Brahma. Brahma wanted to have some deity worship, and you can imagine these Sri Lankan deities coming from the Kuns. Lord Narayan giving to Brahma in the day at the dawn of creation. This is Sri Lanka. Beginning of the, middle of the city, you find Brahmins, then Brahmins living around the temple, then the Vaishya, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, the Shudra. So the Shudra may go and visit prostitutes even sometimes. It's fine because that's their Shudra nature. But if a Brahmin in the dead of the night goes out and meets a prostitute, that's a major fall down. So Vishwanath explains here. The kings, especially those people, the kings, Brahmins, protector of the people, teacher, we should not indulge in Maya. But if you're not part of those five, it's kind of okay in Vedic times. And what does it translate into? Serve your wife. Thus, don't get involved with other women. Now, gold and wealth, that's also a discussion. Because in India, there's a lot of gold in the villages. But they keep it for security purposes. To some degree, it's true. You cannot deny if you recently, 1 year ago, I bought some gold. And the guy who sold me the gold told me, keep it long time. And I didn't because I needed cash. I sold it at a loss. I kept it 1 year. But it's a fact, if you keep gold, it's a fact, it will not depreciate. It's much safer to keep gold than to keep euros or dollars. So Vishwanath is saying, don't be attached to it, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't be using it. It's a good currency for long time, for long terms consideration. 42, let's finish up because this is the time. Vrishasya nashtam strin padam tapasocham dayaniti pati sandada ajvasya mahimsha samavardayat.
Thereafter, the king re-established the lost legs of the personality of religion people, and by encouraging utilities, he sufficiently improved the connection with the earth.
So you can see, he spared Kali. Was he affected by Kali? Other connection? Didn't give a damn about Kali. It's not at all concerned by Kali. He's like sitting in one corner of the kingdom. He has no scope. Such a powerful king. How do you want Kali to intervene? So again, why Kali can intervene now? Because the leaders are weaklings. That's the only point to remember. If the leaders are good devotees, Kali is keeping himself in the corner. As simple as that. That's a simple philosophy. And now Prabhupada explained in 42. That's the verse I was searching for. The good side of gold. What is the good side of gold? Yeah. We should not throw the baby with the hot bath water. If you use it, you tear it up. Yeah. If you build a temple, I don't know if you've been to Iskandar Jain, everything is gold leaf. Gold leaf. My Guru Maharaj, he made it gold leaf everywhere. Because it looks good, it's attractive. People are impressed. Wow. So that's a good utilization of gold. It should be engaged in the service of the Lord. 43, 44. And of course, 42 is saying, the main thing is Sankirtan Yagya, as usual. If you want to fulfill those 4 pillars we discussed, austerity, etc., do Sankirtan Yagya. Let's skip the Sanskrit here. 43, 44. The most fortunate emperor, Maharaj Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapur by Maharaj Yudhishthira when he desired to retire to the forest, is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified by the deeds of the kings of the Kuru dynasty. So even after his departure, the reputation of Parikshit carried on. Again, those sages of Nimisharanya, that was after Parikshit. They were benefiting from the ruling of Maharaj Parikshit. Because remember, the 1,000 year sacrifice, they were paid, they were fed. Maharaj Parikshit had put aside money for them. And of course, same old story as we discussed before. Prabhupada is denouncing drinking, prostitution, animal slaughter. So how the modern leaders have gone around that? What do? They know it's bad for the people, so what do? Instead of doing their job as a leader by propagating Krishna consciousness, no, what they do? They issue, yes, Prabhu? See, they don't address the issue. They put it under the carpet. Yes, Prabhu? They should be doing that.
They're putting taxes on it and they're denying it legally. It's
See?
putting it for economic development instead of.
This is hypocrisy. Their job is to remove the evil effect by removing those particular items. No, they go around, let's make money out of it. This is how nasty they are. You follow? That's why Prabhupada was so heavy with the leaders. Issuing license, gambling houses. They want the kingdom of God, Ramarajya is called. And Prabhupada is so adamant, we have to organize society to accept the principles. We know the 4 principles. Don't hide behind the religion. This is another excuse. It's a lame excuse. Practical lessons of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada saying. 45. Itam bhutan bhavo yam abhimanyu suto nripaha yasya palayata kshonim yuyam satraya dikshita.
Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this.
See? This is the power of such a king. Even after his reign, people are still benefiting. So the bottom line, like you said, Prabhu, I think Mahabhavi, Prabhu, gold is not bad. You just use it for religious purposes. Temple building. Nothing wrong. You have seen the opening of Sri Ram Mandir in Ayodhya recently, a few months ago. How much gold there is? Solid gold. At least people donate their gold, it's good, they get purified for temple. If you donate your gold for to do something of a lesser level, it's going to bind you again. So gold should be used for, devotees can use gold, You save money for your child in gold. There's nothing wrong with that. You put gold 20 years in the safe, it's going to grow, it's going to pick up in terms of value. But it's like everything else, you can use it properly, you can misuse it. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. It's Russian, little Russian. Okay, so we'll do a little portion of chapter 18 today. That's what it is, huh? Today is not a little confused here. Yeah, we're starting off chapter 18. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.